Hello, my name is Salman from Edukea Tanzania. Welcome in this session to proceed with our topic, which is new colonialism and the question of underdevelopment in third world countries. On the last session, we ended on the political manifestation of new colonialism. So now, welcome to proceed with economic manifestations. The economic manifestations include as follows. The following: the presence of foreign aids. It means that in third world countries there is flowing of aids like loans, grants, and other assistance from the imperialistic powers towards the third world countries. For example, Tanzania was aided about 8 trillion in the budget of 2014 to 2015. It means that there is the flowing of aid from the imperialistic powers. As I've given an example in the Tanzania or in our country, that in the budget of 2014 and up to 2015, the budget of our government or the budget of our nation was aided about 8 trillion from abroad. So you can see that this age of new colonialism means that we are still depending on abroad to be assisted. So this is in one way or another manifested that there is new colonialism. So you can see that there are many aids which are provided in different third world countries. For example, another in Tanzania, there is aid which was used to provide the anti-malaria campaign. There were the US aids were provided in many African nations or third world countries, whereby the equipments for combating malaria was provided in third world countries. But another is the presence of foreign direct investment. It means that in the third world country there is foreign direct investment. Foreign direct investment. It means that there is foreign direct investment which is established or introduced in the third world countries, aiming to exploit the present natural resources of their respective countries. They use the umbrella or the boat of those multinational corporations. Those multinational corporations like the soft drink companies like Coca-Cola and others. So these companies are being used by their mother countries to ensure that all policies and interests for their imperialistic powers are influenced and implemented by those multinational corporations which are established in the third world countries, and other companies like GBP, like Caterpillar, and other companies which are multinational corporations which operate all over the world, especially in the third world countries, because they believe that in the third world countries is where they will accumulate a lot of source of raw materials for their industries, and the third world countries act as the productive areas for agricultural products or producers of raw materials. So that's they bring they establish foreign direct investment. For example, in 2011, foreign direct investment or FDI in Africa is to $43.4 billion, and in 2013, about $45.8 billion was invested in Africa or in the third world countries. So you can see that direct foreign investment is just done in that way to ensure that there is enough and intensive exploitation of third world countries' resources. Another economic manifestation, it is imperialist control over the world market. Imperialist control over the world market, or imperialist domination over world market. It means that the imperialists ensure that the world market are in their hands, and there is no competition between the third world countries' goods and advanced produced manufactured goods from the imperialist powers' goods. So they ensure, or they stop the competition between the goods of third world countries and the goods from abroad. So that led to the imperialist powers to control over the world market, whereby it is under the World Trade Organization, WTO, and that organization which under UN or United Nations, it just sets the low price for the third world countries' products or goods, and set high price for the imperialist powers' goods or raw materials. The raw materials which produced in third world countries are with the low prices, but once you buy or you get the European raw materials with high price, believing that the imperialist powers use the advanced technology and the quality of those raw materials of goods at high quality. So that led to the monopolization or control over the world market. As you see, even in our country, the goods or manufactured goods from abroad are the one just taking the market, or the world market, or our Tanzanian market. You can see the clothes from China, clothes from Turkey, clothes from India. So these are goods which are just disrupting our internal market of locally made goods. Computers, cars, and everything from abroad are competing and controlling over the internal market in our country. So this manifests that there is new colonialism in economic matters. But another economic manifestation, it is imperialist monopolization over technology. It means that the imperialists monopolize the control over the technology. It means that those monopolistic powers monopolize the technology, whereby those imperialistic powers have high technology and advanced technology more than those third world countries. For example, the East European Economic Community and the African Caribbean Pacific relation signed in 1973 to prohibit, or was aimed to prohibit, African nations to produce sensitive commodities that are produced by Europeans. You can see that those communities or unions in European Economic Community and the African Caribbean Pacific countries signed that relation signed or pronounced it in 1976 to prohibit all African nations or the third world countries to produce the product which produced by the Europeans. So you can see that their main aim was to stop or to dismantle the competition between the technology of Africans and those imperialistic powers. So you can see the stagnation of African or third world countries' technology. The technology of third world countries are stagnant because they are not producing. They are just insisted on the depending on goods from abroad. Their technology from abroad. So the third world countries will never undergo or introduce or develop their technology rather than depending from imperialistic powers. So in that sense, you can see this is another economic manifestation of neo-colonialism. And the last economic manifestation is the making of Africa a dumping place for European surplus and cheap industrial goods. It means that African countries or third world countries, because most of African countries or sub-Saharan countries are termed as third world countries. So you can see the countries which or nations which are present which include in third world countries made as a dumping place where the European or imperialistic goods are being dumped. So you can see, for example, in many third world countries, the manufactured goods from abroad is imported in third world countries. For example, in Tanzania, there is many goods or manufactured goods or industrial goods from abroad, like clothes from Turkey, clothes from China, clothes from India, laptops from Japan, laptops from USA, from Britain, phones or cell phones from India, like iPhone, Apple, Samsung from China, Techno from China, and other phones. But there's cars from Japan, car from China, car from USA, car from German. So you can see, and the other European or imperialistic manufactured goods. So you can see they are dumped in third world countries. You see various manufactured goods are being dumped in African or third world countries in order to suppress the production of local industries in third world countries. So this is another economic manifestation of neocolonialism in third world countries. Another, it is social manifestation. Social manifestation, add letter C. Social manifestation. The first social manifestation is the influence of foreign education system. We see that in our education system or in the third world countries' education system is influenced by the Western influence. So you can see that the education which is provided from primary schools towards the university levels is just adapted from the Western or from the imperialist system of education. For example, the education or the syllabus which is provided, like a Cambridge syllabus, it is just quite different from the environment of Africa or third world countries. So you can see that we African or we Tanzanians, we are using in some schools are using the Cambridge syllabus, which is different from the environment of Tanzanians. So how can you apply the syllabus which is from Cambridge? How will you use? In which place or where will you apply that syllabus or that knowledge you get after being guided by the Cambridge syllabus. But the education system which we are receiving in the third world countries like Tanzania, it is just irrelevant to our environment. So that's why after the completion of our study, the many young people or young men are unemployed because they can't apply their skills and knowledge which they have got from schools to apply them in their environment to involve themselves in production, because the education they have or the knowledge they have do not go hand in hand with their environment. It's just two quite different. So that is the indicator or manifestation of neo-colonialism in third world countries like Tanzania. Another, it is presence of cultural imperialism. It means that in culture, or once we speak about culture, we include many things like language, like wearing style, like arts and crafts. We include the customs and the traditions. We include the education. We include many things. So you can see that the cultural imperialism are still existing, or it is present in third world countries, whereby the cultural aspects is adapted from the imperialistic powers. I can give you an example in the aspect of languages. The third world countries are adapting the imperialistic powers' languages. For example, the using of language of their former colonies. For example, the British colonies, until now, they are using English language. For example, we Tanzanians, we are using English as an official language and language of learning in higher levels like universities. So you can see this was adoption of cultural aspect from our former colonies. And French colonies like Rwanda, Burundi, Congo, they are using the French language in their daily communications and as well as in official activities. So you can see that there is cultural imperialism, whereby those superpowers or imperialistic powers are dominating us indirectly without knowing in cultural aspects. And not only that, but in wearing style, people of third world countries have been changed to act as the white people. They are wearing short dresses, the mini trousers. They're just wearing the clothes which are suited for European people, but the third world countries, especially like Africa, are just using or put on those clothes. Even eating style has been changed. Wearing style has been changed, whereby the women they're just weaving the artificial hair, which is called the luster. So these are the cultural imperialism which manifests the presence of new colonialism in third world countries. But another or the last social manifestation is presence of international cable networks or mass media. The presence of international cable networks or mass media. Even in third world countries, those mass media are operating and intensively to spread their ideologies or to spread their superiority and domination in the third world countries. And these mass media like CNN, BBC and Sky News, these are international cable networks that that support the assassination of anti-imperialistic nations or leaders. It means that these international cable networks or mass media plays the assassination or the killing of those people who go against with imperialism or capitalist ideologies. For example, the assassination of Osama bin Laden by the U.S. government. It was just the person who was against the United States of American government, because he didn't want the USA capitalists. So you can see that the assassination of those anti-imperialistic powers is just being broadcasted by those medias like British Broadcasting Company and these Chinese broadcasting companies. After looking those all economic, political, social manifestations of neocolonialism, let us see another concept, which is the question of underdevelopment in the third world countries. As I have told you, the first subtopic is just the concepts of neocolonialism and underdevelopment. So let us see the definition in the underdevelopment. Underdevelopment refers to the situation of economic and political backwardness of a given organization, society, or country when compared to the situations of an advanced organization, society, or country. It means underdevelopment is a situation of economic and political backwardness or stagnation, political and economic stagnation of a certain organization, society, or country when you compare that organization, society, or country with the situations of that advanced society, country, or organization. The concept of economic underdevelopment of third world was popularized from the late of 1960s by Ganda Frank, who made a study on the effects of the underdevelopment in Latin America, and what allowed me in his study of the history of Africa and Caribbean affairs, and his book How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. It means that the concept of economic underdevelopment or underdevelopment at large, it has been popularized in 1960s by various scholars or historians like Gunda Frank, who made a study on the effects of underdevelopment in Latin America, and what allowed me who made his study of history of Africa and the Caribbean affairs, and he explained about how Europe underdeveloped Africa. So this was the short explanation about the underdevelopment in the third world countries. So after looking the definition of underdevelopment, let me give you an exercise with one question. It is just a simple question to define neocolonialism and the underdevelopment. Until there, this is the end of our lesson here. So thank you for listening me and watching me. So welcome in another session. Bye.
tracks.